everybody. So today is going to be a little bit of a different video. As you can see, I don't have any makeup on and my hair is not done and I'm wearing a hoodie. But that's because I'm still working on my studio. And I realized as I was bringing everything up here that I have all my palettes out, like they're not in drawers. Now this does not include my my quads or my quints or anything like that, like any of the small ones. But this is all my eyeshadow palettes. And so what I decided I'd do before I put everything away was show you all of the palettes and go through them and declutter if I decide that I don't want to keep something. So with that, I'm going to show you all of the palettes and then we're going to go through each one and you can see all the things in my collection, and then hopefully I'll do a little bit of decluttering, but I'm not really betting on that. Okay. Yes, there's a big wire in the way. I apologize, but like I said, I'm still setting this up. So, if we go, I'm gonna have the camera show you all of these up close, but right now I'm gonna use this camera to just pan, and you can see, yeah, how far this goes. I know, guys, I'm aware. It's too much stuff, which is why I was kind of hoping that I could declutter a little, but I like all of these things, so I'm not using them all, obviously, but anyway. All right, so let's get into it. So basically, I'm going to switch to a different camera, and I'm going to have all of these palettes. You can see it like directly on top, so you won't see me anymore, but you'll see all the palettes. And you might see little Harper, because as you can see, he's literally on top of my lap because he can't go anywhere without me. All right, let's switch to the next few. Okay, let's start with Natasha Denona. So these are the 5-pan palettes. The top one is Peak, and the bottom one is Camel. These are the only two that I have in this size. I really like the Camel. It's one of my favorites. I think it's a really great color story. And I actually do use it a lot, although it doesn't really look like it, but I do. So I'm gonna keep that. The Peak was something that came, I think, like it was like a special in, was it BoxyCharm or something? I don't even remember how I got this one, but I do love these colors, so obviously keeping that. In fact, I don't expect that I'm going to get rid of any Natasha Denona. We've got a bunch of minis. Let's start. This is Mini Love, which is of course a very pinky purple palette. I actually do like this one a lot. I think they did a really good job, or she did a really good job with this one, so I'm keeping that. This is the Mini Glam palette, which is beautiful. Not getting rid of that. Mini Zendo, which, you know, I'm not a huge fan of the Zendo palette, but the mini one, I think it's pretty good. Mini Gold. It's a great palette. Mini Nude, which is I really have used this one. This one you can actually tell I've used. I have so many palettes now that even when ones that I use a lot, you can't really tell. And Mini Retro. Another great palette. I actually really like this one. Okay, so let's do the mid-size. This is the Glam palette. You can see my ring light in the reflection. It's a great palette. We have the Zendo palette, which although it looks beautiful, it doesn't really work all that great, but it looks really nice in the palette. I do like the Retro palette. I don't use this one enough. I think because it's pinks and purples, but it is really pretty. Love palette, which I think is really pretty. I really like this one. Bronze palette, which might be my favorite. I really, really like the bronze palette. The Vieve palette, it has 15 shades in it, like the midis, but the pan size is bigger. Love the Vieve palette. I think it's really, really good. Gold palette, which of course is phenomenally good. I really don't pull this one out enough, but I should. It's a really good palette. This is the Safari palette, which I've barely touched, which is just crazy. I really should do something with this sometime. I've got the Metropolis palette, which is one of my favorites. This thing is just amazing. Everything in here is phenomenally good. All the shades are beautiful. They all perform beautifully. It's just a great palette. This is the Starr palette. I haven't seen any, I don't know if she has any others that are like this palette, like the design, but I don't know, I kind of liked it. I think the shades are really soft. Just beautiful shades. 28 pans. That is the purple blue. This is the green brown. None of these are going anywhere. And then I forgot to mention that I picked up during the sale the Sunrise palette, the Sunset palette, the Trio-Chrome palette, and the Circle Local palette. I'm not going to open them up right now because I'm going to do videos on them, but so I think I have like every Natasha Denona palette now, or close. So I have a couple of the by Terry palettes. They are the Terribly ones, and this is Paris by Night, which is one of my favorites. Absolutely love this one. It's gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous palette. Then Paris by Light, which I actually really like as well. They're both excellent quality, excellent formula. Really, really good. And then this is Paris Mon Amour, which is kind of a combination of the other two. Great formula still, but I think I like the Paris by Night the most. Paris by Light and Paris by Night are close though, it's hard to tell. And then I picked up a new one which I haven't used yet. This is the Bonjour Paris, and it comes in this 9 pan, and I haven't touched it yet. You can tell because I haven't messed up all the pretty design. I will, but not yet. Then I have my Marc Jacobs palettes. This is Stiletto. It's a really, really pretty palette if you haven't tried it. I still don't know if Marc Jacobs is going out of business or what's happening there. This is Extravagance, which is a really, really nice one. This is like a gold green. It's like an antique gold. Really nice. That one's great. I like the Marc Jacobs formula. I'm disappointed that they're going away, or if they are. This is Terrific, which was actually like a holiday one, I think. I like the design on it. I think the design is cute. And then this is the last one. This is Flamboyant. And it is boy in the middle. So I really like the Marc Jacobs products. I like the eyeshadows, the eyeliners. Next up is Bobbi Brown. This one, I think, was the one at the Nordstrom anniversary sale. It's the Soft Glow Eye and Cheek palette. Really pretty shades in this one. I really like that one. And these were the Luxe quads. This is Burgundy, and this is Bronze. I'm not going to include the other quads like the Tom Ford and Chanel's because they're too much, but I did include the Bobbi Brown because I only have 2 of them. This is the Aether Beauty Summer Solstice. I really like this one, and I don't know why I don't use it more often. This is one I think I need to like revisit. This is the Topaz. This is gorgeous on the eye. And I know I'm breaking my rule and having some quads in here, but it's not like the ones that I have a lot of quads of, like, you know, the Tom Fords and the Chanel's and those others, and Dior, of course. But this is the ColourPop Entendre. I don't even know how I got this double entendre, but it is a good neutral palette. I do like it. I don't use it that often, but I don't use any of these things too often because I have too many, which is why I really should declutter. This is Going Coconuts. Again, a good neutral. I do like this one. This is the Star Wars, The Child, and I do have the Mandalorian as well, but I haven't opened it yet. This one I got earlier, so I've already used it. I love this one actually, because it's basically green. Absolutely love this palette. I think it's like amazing on the eye. I don't know why it's doing that in the camera, but it's like depending on the light I put it in. That's the Gemini palette. This is the Smoke Sessions palette. And this is the Rust palette. I'm not going to open all of these right now because some of them are in boxes, but I do like the Rust palette. I like the smokes. These, for me, their formula is hit or miss. Okay, we've got the Byredo palettes. Let's see. This one is Skyomancer. This one is Corporate Colors. And then I picked up Metal Boots in the Snow, but I have not used it yet. I have two palettes by Glaminatrix. This is You Beauty, which is a really nice palette. This is a really good one. The shades in here are awesome. Really like this one. And the one that I just got that I haven't used yet is Silent Night, which I think looks really pretty. Juvia's Place. This one is the Taupes. This is a great cool neutral. I love this one because it's like grayish brown because it's that taupey color. It's awesome. This is the Chocolates. Again, beautiful. The Juvia's Place formula is amazing. I have the Violets. I have the Nubian, which again is a little more, it's neutral, but it's got some like great shimmers and stuff. It's just it's a beautiful, beautiful palette. This one has really, really good. This is the Warrior. You can tell I picked a lot of neutral ones because those are the colors that I like, but it's really pretty. It's a really nice neutral palette. And then I have the Nubian 2, which of course I haven't opened because, you know, why would I actually open these things? And Wahala, which I have opened, but for some reason I have it in the box, so I don't know. A lot of these things I need to just like get through and start using them. But I'm not gonna get rid of any of those. I do have a couple of quads. I have the Rebel, which is this beautiful green. And I have the grays, which are really pretty. I have two Lorac palettes. This one, that was number 3. And then this one is the Lorac Pro Eyeshadow Palette. Maybe this was the first one, I don't know. I don't see a number on it, but. I have a bunch of BH Cosmetics. This is the Sugar Cone. This is Orange Sorbet. Bubblegum, which is of course blue. This Pistachio, which is the green. I think there was like 7 of these that created the whole thing. Like there was a cherry and there was a, I don't know, there was a bunch of other ones, but I think I only got 4 of them. Square ones that are like countries. So this is Smitten in Switzerland. Love in London. Love in London's a really good one. Really good shades in here. Really like this one. Beautiful in Barcelona. The square pans are my favorite. Chillin' in Chicago. And then I have Blueberry Muffin, which is like blue, of course, and Avocado Toast, which I think a lot of people really like. I have 2 Nomad palettes. This is Iceland. I think the full name is Fire and Ice. Really beautiful palette. They have great formulas. Really pretty palette. Then I have the Haunted Europe palette that came out right around Halloween, which I did a video on, I feel like. I have 2 Adept Cosmetics. This is Codan. And I'll tell you about Adept Cosmetics. They have like amazing formulas. Like the shimmers in these things are just out of this world. Just really impressive. And then the other one is Ninhydrin. And again, just, I mean, now you're getting a lot of reflect on this, but it really is a stunning palette. Kevyn Aucoin. This is the Blitz Kid palette. This actually is not very good. I might actually get rid of this one. Wow, I've gotten rid of 1 out of, how many have we talked about? And this one is the Emphasize Eyes. This is a good neutral, but it's really pretty, and it comes with this like cream foil shadow that's really nice. It's a nice neutral. I have two Chantecaille palettes. Obviously, I have all the duos and singles, but these are some trios that they come out with every once in a while. This was the elephant one, Rock for Giants. And then this is the Protect the Wolves one. I'm not sure why I had this in the box still, because I've used it. This is a really pretty. If you like green, this one's great. I've got one from Vieve. This is the Essential palette. This is actually a really good palette. I mean, it's not like, you know, gonna be like revolutionary, but it's really good. Everything in here worked perfectly. I have two NARS palettes. This is an old one. This is And God Created the Woman. I have no idea how long I've had this. Probably a really long time. You can tell by how messy it is, but I really like this one. So I'm keeping it if it hasn't gone bad. And then you know this one. This is the Climax palette that I just got. Love, love, love this one. This is a great palette. I'm not going to really go into these, but these are the Tom Ford palettes. But these are the Shade and Illuminate palettes. These are like face palettes so I don't really feel like these should count, but I'm going to mention them because they're in here. We have Moonlit Violet, Red Harness, Rose Cashmere, and my favorite, Moss Agate. But I will say that the face palette part is a little deep for me, but I still like it. I only have one Victoria Beckham eyeshadow palette, which is surprising to me, but I do. I only have one. I looked around, I didn't see any others, so this one is Silk. As you know, I have a bunch of Dior palettes, including the new ones from this year. I just want to mention that I do have some of the, you know, the face palettes from last year. These have eyeshadows in them and face products, obviously. Another Byredo palette that I forgot to include. This is the Disco palette. Really pretty. I don't know how I forgot to include this one, but forgot to include this NARS one. This is the little unwrapped one, Laguna. I forgot to include that, but I did. Okay, I have this one, which is really old. It's Coastal Scents. I've had it forever, like really forever. I feel like I should probably get rid of this one. I have one of the Scott Barnes. You can see it's got that. That's kind of cool. I do like that. Mesmerize. I do like this palette, I have to say. It's actually a very pretty palette. It's the only Scott Barnes eyeshadow palette I have, but I do like it. I have this random Black Widow palette, and I'm not exactly sure who even makes it. I think it was an Ulta palette. I don't even know. It actually looks pretty. I've never used it. But that's random. I have one Sigma palette, which my good friend Kelly from Keep Beauty Real got me. Absolutely love this one, actually, and it made me like think I should get more Sigma palettes. The green in here, this shade here is this gorgeous, like, oh, it's really pretty green. But all the shades are really nice. Maybe I should do more Sigma. What do you guys think? This is Untamed. Then I have the Givenchy Holiday Palette. You guys know that if you've watched my videos, this is an excellent palette. I am going to be buying more Givenchy next year, which is like this year, I guess. When this goes up, it'll be 2022. Oh my goodness. That's weird. But anyway, this is a really good one. I have the Supreme Nudes by Artist Couture. I think I mentioned this because there was like a mini one or something at Sephora. And I was like, oh, like, should I get it? But I have this one. I don't really think I need the other one. But I do like it. It's pretty good. I have this Olivia Palermo palette. This is actually a gorgeous palette. I never picked up the other one. This is Au Natural, and the shades in here are really, really nice. It's just really good formulas, and I have to say the case, oh, that was loud. The case is stunning. Look at that. Look at that reflection. I don't have any of her lipsticks either. Let me know if you think her lipsticks are worth picking up. I have one MAC palette, which is funny because back in the day I had like so much MAC. This is the one that came out, was it around
October? When was this one? This is the Feast Your Eyes one, but I don't remember when this came out. It's all like blending. This was very popular. All right, then we've got the Burberry. This is the Runway Eye Palette. This is the one that like nobody could get. I did not include the one from this year, the Runway palette, because that's a face and eye palette. I'm trying not to include those. I know I've had a few, like I just mentioned, like the Tom Ford ones, but I'm just doing eye palettes. But the new Burberry palette is phenomenally good. I wore it in my Christmas video. If you actually want a video on it, like a dedicated one, I can do that. Next up are the Yves Saint Laurent palettes. And I'll show you the black cover once, and then I'll just show you the inside of all the black cover ones. This is the Saharan. That's not right, guys, but I don't have, unfortunately at the moment, I don't have time to check the pronunciation because I'm trying to get this done before I put the rug in here. Yeah, I'm going to be working on the lighting and a whole bunch of other things, but I figured I would do this before the rug went down. This is Paris. I think once the rug goes down here, or rugs, the sound will be better. This is Tuxedo. I'd say Tuxedo looks prettier in the palette than it actually is because it's nice on the eyes, but it's a little, it's not as brilliant as I would like it to be. I like the other ones, to be honest, better. Those are all the regular ones. Then we have the Gold Holiday. This one's really pretty, especially if you like pinks or like those what would I call those? Berry tones. Really nice. This is the Dress Me Wild one. This one's really good. I like this one. I like the blues in here more than I like the blues in the Tuxedo. Here's the pink spring one. I love the cover. I love the packaging. The colors in here are definitely like pastel-y, which are not my favorites, but it actually does create a beautiful look. Here's the Gucci palette. I don't know why it's not focusing. But this is a good palette, but I wouldn't say it's a great palette. I'd say that the packaging is better than the product, but the product's good. Like these shadows all worked well, and I actually like the looks that they create, and I think it's really pretty. You can do like, this can be a quad, this can be a quad, this can be a quad kind of thing, and it works really well that way, so I like the way they designed it. But I have to say the packaging is just stunning, and the product is only good, in my opinion. But I'm still not getting rid of it because it's beautiful. This is the Patrick Ta One Size palette, the eyeshadow palette. This is actually really good, guys. I actually really like this. I think the formulas are good in here, and it actually works really well. I was surprised, but I do. I like it. It's a good palette. Not really decluttering anything. This is the Major Dimensions palette. It's like a neutral palette. These are creams over here. These two. It's actually a really, really good neutral palette. Each one of these is like a matte, and this is the shimmer that goes with it, and it does look really beautiful on. But it's not like a necessity unless you don't have any neutral palettes. If you don't have any neutral palettes, I think this is a good one, but I wouldn't like say rush out and get it. Just my opinion, but it's good formula. Patrick Ta makes good products. This is the Guerlain from last holiday, I think it was. Sorry about the reflection, guys. I'm going to be working on that, but right now we're going to have to deal with it because I don't have everything set up. But it is a pretty look. It's very soft. I wouldn't say it's my favorite formula, but it does create a very pretty soft look. These are my Laura Mercier palette. These are, like, they're good palettes. I like them. This is Parisian Nudes, which I think is a really good one. It's a nice palette that works like in all different, you know, it's cool tone, but it's really pretty. This one's Hidden Gems, which I also think is really good. I like the Laura Mercier formula. I don't use them very often, as you can see, but I really should, because Laura Mercier, I like her stuff. Like, I like her blushes too. Wayne Goss, I have two. I have the Luxury Eye Palette in Pearl Moonstone, which I actually do like very much. That blue in there can look just amazing. Takes a little bit of like prep and work. You can't just throw it on the eye, but if you do it, the payoff's amazing. And this is Imperial Topaz. I don't have the one that came out recently, like the pinkish one, because I just don't really like those shades. I've heard it's nice though. So I do like the Wayne Goss formula. I think it's very good. Okay, so now we've got some old palettes. These are ABH, Anastasia Beverly Hills, and this is like the first Makeup by Mario palette. So this was before he was Makeup by Mario. This is the collab he did with Anastasia Beverly Hills, Kim Kardashian, and it's my favorite palette of all time. I've kept this. I don't know how good it's going to be, the formulas anymore. I kind of keep it under lock and key. And I have 2 others. So I've not opened the other 2, hoping that it will keep. I have the Kim Kardashian and Makeup by Mario, the Artist and Muse palette that he did later on that I was hoping was going to be as good as the other ones. It's fine. It's not bad. As you can tell, I've barely used it. I have Modern Renaissance, which is a good ABH palette. Definitely cool tones, more pinks than I really like, but it's a good palette. I mean, the ABH formula was really good at one point. I have the Sultry palette. I do like this one. I like the shades in here. Colors in here are really good. The packaging is great too. And I have Soft Glam. So again, good shadows, good pigment, good formula. This is when back in the day when I bought ABH palettes. These are my, and I think I'm pronouncing this right, Clinodah palettes, single shadows. I don't have too many Clinodah singles. I'm considering this an eye palette because this was like, I think they called it like their neutrals or something. I can't even remember what it was, but they make amazing shadows. If you like independent brands and you like single shadows, these are amazing. I just don't really use single shadows very often. I find they just, and I don't use them, unfortunately. I have one NYX palette, Modern Dreamer. I'm not exactly sure like even why I got this or when I got this, but there are a lot of shades in here. I don't think I've ever used it, but it does look like a pretty palette and has a lot of shades in it, so I should test it out and see how it works. I have one Maybelline palette. This is Maybelline New York, Nudes of New York, and you can probably guess why I bought it if you watch my channel. I love like nude shades, and you know, Maybelline and drugstore makeup can be really good. It doesn't just have to be, you know, luxury makeup, but I do tend to prefer luxury makeup because it looks better on my more mature skin. But I do like this palette for the colors in here. Obviously, I haven't really used it very often. Okay, next is Viseart, and I have a lot. So I'm just gonna go through them kind of quickly. So this is Theory, obviously a green. This is Chroma. This is Chroma. This is a really good gray one. If you like gray. The Viseart palettes are amazing. I have this size. This is the Rose Edit. Really pretty shades. Paris Edit. Really pretty. And the Warm Edit. This one broke a little bit, so I'm keeping the plastic on it, but. And I've got the Petite Pros. This is Petite Pro 3. That's got the plastic on it, so it's a little harder to see, but. Solstice. Again, beautiful color story. Viseart just does a great job with their color stories. This is I think it's Apricot, apricot, basically. Really pretty apricot shades. Petite shades, but I won't do those because those are quads. Try to stay away from the quads. This is the Violet. These are the Entendus. Violet is a really pretty one. I keep repeating myself because they're all beautiful. We have Minxette. This is La Playa. I think La Playa. This is a really great combination with that like greenish blue in there. Really pretty. Cashmere, which is like one of my favorites now. This is a great, cool neutral palette. Really, really nice. Really like this one. I like them all, but this one's really. This is a Bijoux, which I still haven't actually been able to use. It's more jewel toned. Really pretty though. Like I said, the Viseart palettes are really well curated, great formulas. And then I have these pans, which are a little bit bigger. This is Bridal Satin. Bridal satin's great. Sultry Muse, neutral mattes. Their mattes are some of the best in my opinion. Paris Nudes, a little more muted color palette, but like so user-friendly and so easy to use, like all the time. This is the neutral matte. I think that's the name of it, neutral matte. And here's the Grand Pro. It's a really great, all mattes, just amazing. All the mattes you could possibly ever need. I have two Too Faced palettes. The Shake Your Pom Poms palette, which is really pretty actually. It's got that green in it, you know, I love a good green. And the Palm Springs one, which actually is really nice. I don't have too many Too Faced things. I don't have like any of the, you know, holiday stuff or anything, but I do have these two and I plan to keep them. I have one Wander Beauty palette. This is Wanderous Rush. It's really pretty on the inside. I like the shades in here. I think they're good. I don't think it's like the best palette ever, but you know, I like it. I think it's got good shades, easy to use. Don't think I'm gonna get rid of that one. This is a Lethal Cosmetics palette that I actually created. You go and actually like pick out different shades, single shades, and make your own palette. So I actually did this one because I wanted some like particular like mattes and that I was trying to like do a certain like idea to mix with other things. So I do like these. Dior, I don't have too many eye palettes. I have face and eye palettes, but just eye palettes. This one that came out for the holiday, it's a good neutral. I really like this one. I think it's the Dior Ecrin Couture Iconic Eye Makeup. I don't know how that's different than the big one, like the name-wise, but I do like this palette. And then I have a Dior 9-pan. This is the Dior Backstage in Cool Neutrals, which I do think is pretty. I just don't reach for this. I don't know why, but I just don't. These are the Westman Atelier iPods, and they all magnetic, so they all stick together. And I have, you know, the 3 sets that they came out with. One is La Nuit, one is La Georges, and then the new one I've forgotten the name of. Can't remember. But anyway, they're great. They're great sets, easy to use. I think it was Rendezvous. Yeah, Rendezvous. So these are really, really good, you know, one and done kind of shades. I believe now you can actually buy them in singles. That wasn't available when I was picking these up. e.l.f. Cosmetics. The only palette I have from them is the J. Kissa one, the To the Rescue. And I bought this one basically because proceeds went to dog rescue. I'm a huge dog rescue person. But the palettes, I actually tried to use these. They're not great. They're not terrible, but they're a little patchy, especially the mattes in here. I do have a lot of the little e.l.f. minis. I said I wasn't going to show quads, but I do want to mention I do have these e.l.f. minis, and these are all really good. These are the bite-size eyeshadows, and they're all excellent. Just pick a, you know, color story that you like, and I love them. Charlotte Tilbury palettes. I mean, I have the quads. These are the Bejeweled Eyes Hypnotize. That's a good one. I do like it. This is Starry Eyes. Again, nice, good palette. Good, like, everyday, useful palette to have. And this is my favorite. This is the Smoky Eyes. This is the new one. I really like this one a lot. Love the formula, love the way it looks. Really like this one. And then I have the Super Nudes eyeshadow palette. Really basic palette, I know, but great to have when you're looking for just, you know, an easy eye makeup look. Makeup by Mario. I don't consider the ABH one Makeup by Mario because it really wasn't Makeup by Mario yet. This is the Master Mattes palette. When I first used this, I wasn't really in love with it. I've gotten much more fond of it as I've used it. I don't think it's good as Viseart mattes, but I do think they're good. Then the other one is his Master Metallics. Again, I don't love them. It's not like that first ABH palette that he did, but I don't think they're bad. I think they're good. And then I do have, and I'm not going to go through them because like I said, I promised I wouldn't, you know, talk about his small ones, but I do have his Glam Quads, which I actually really like. They're really pretty. There's a bunch of different ones. And then I have his new nudes. I have all his new nudes, which I think are okay. I think they're decent. Okay.
Sydney Grace. Now, these are Sydney Grace palettes. I'm just showing them to you because I do have singles in Sydney Grace. I don't have them in these small palettes. I have them in the big palettes. But I do love the Sydney Grace singles. But like I said, I'm not a huge single fan, so I don't really, you know, take them out very much. Coffee Talk is one of my favorites by Sydney Grace. It's like a cool toned neutral. Definitely Coffee Talk. You know, like it's totally coffee vibes. Love it. It's beautiful. Sweet Indulgence is another. I mean, all the Sydney Grace ones are gorgeous. I'm not going to go through all of them, but let me just show you these two. Definitely like candy vibes. Look at that. Really good. We've got the Trace Your Dreams palette, Summer Days palette, the Autumn Rain palette, which is a really good palette. Like I said, I won't go through all of them because I know this is already really long, but that's a good palette. The Enduring Love palette in both the light and dark, really, really good palette. Tiny Marvels, of course, Mel Thompson's collab with Sydney Grace, probably one of my favorite palettes of all time. Let me just show you that one in case you haven't seen it, because it's just a great palette. The names are great, the shades are great, the formula is great. Oh, it's just really good. Just really, really good. And then this year, I think it was this year, Sydney Grace did the Chantecaille collection, 3 different palettes, all beautiful. I don't have them like all opened up now, but really did an amazing job. So we've got, really did an amazing job with all 3 of them, and I really love those palettes. If you haven't tried Sydney Grace, you should. Pat McGrath. We knew we'd have, you know, a lot of Pat McGrath. Okay, so we have the, I forgot the name of this one. I'll get it in a second. Pat McGrath. These are the 6 pans. This is Rose Decadence. We have the Star Wars. This is Galactic Gold. This one is Subliminal. I really like Subliminal. I really think this one is a nice, cool neutral palette. Love that one. This one is Golden Opulence. Yeah, Golden Opulence. Beautiful 6 pans. Those are great. Then we have the Mega Ship. This is Celestial Divinity, which was last year. That's the Mega Mothership. And then we have the one from this year, which is Celestial Odyssey, which I won't open again because I've shown this one like a million times, and I'm doing the giveaway for this one too because I just think this is such a great palette. And then of course, all the motherships. I have every one of them. So this is 9 Utopian Dream, Midnight Sun, Sublime. Which one is this one? This one is, yeah, Bronze Seduction. Bronze Seduction is probably one of my favorite ones. This is a really good one. I'm not opening them up, guys, because there's so much to get through. I have the Star Wars version of Decadence. Then I have the Subversive palette, which is the 3rd. That's the 3rd one. Subliminal, which is the first one that she ever did. And if you haven't seen this one, it doesn't get talked about a lot because, of course, you know, it's her first one. So it's been out for like a very long time. But this is a really stunning palette. Really beautiful. And yes, it looks pristine, and it looks pristine because I bought another one, and that's the pristine one because I messed up the first one because I had it long before. And then we have Divine Rose and Divine Rose too. So all the Pat McGrath motherships are in my collection. And last but not least, I put this at the end because I kind of wanted it to be like my influencer palettes. So these are the ones that I bought. I mean, obviously Mel Thompson fits into that too, but I just felt like the Mel Thompson one deserved to be part of the Sydney Grace collection. And I know Sydney Grace also did the Temptalia, but these I felt like were a little bit different. So this is the Tati Beauty palette. It actually is a really nice palette. And the formulas are really good in here. So I'm glad I have this one, now that this doesn't
technically exist anymore. I got the ColourPop at First Sight. This is the Raw Beauty Christie ColourPop collab. Again, I didn't include this with the ColourPop ones, but I felt like it should be a little bit separate. This is actually a really good palette, and I like it because it's got those green earthy colors, which are my favorite. I've got the Ophir collab that Samantha March did. This is Life's a Draft. More pinks and purples. I do love a good purple. Now again, this is a face palette, I know, but I kind of wanted to include this in the sort of the influencer ones, if you will. This is Club Nebula, which is a really good palette. This is Angela Nyquist's palette. This one's really fun. I don't know if you guys, if everyone's seen this one, but this one's actually a really, really fun palette, and I enjoyed it. It's not an everyday palette for me, but I do like it. This is the Pure and Raw Beauty Christie palette, and this is the one that has two different sides to it. I don't actually like this one as much as I like the other one because I like the greens and the browns. There is the Lethal is Dead. This is Lethal Cosmetics. I did have another, I showed you the custom palette I did from Lethal Cosmetics. They are really very good. This is the Teresa is Dead collab. And I'll say, like, these colors aren't necessarily my colors, but I do love Teresa, and the shades in here are beautiful. The formula is excellent. I've got another Ophir palette. This is the Leora Ray one. This one has, like, one of my favorite greens, actually. I really like that green. Not a palette I use a lot, but I do like it. And the last one is It's Freaking Bats. This was a Baddie Bean Shroud eyeshadow palette. This is a collab that they did, and I actually like the shades in here. I think they're really pretty. This is a really pretty green, like a almost, not really lime, but it's really pretty. I like the greens, I like the purples, so I was like, all right, I'll get it. And I do like to support my fellow YouTubers when I can, when there's products that I actually want to get and I think I'll use. As I said in my intro, this is not really a declutter because I obviously decluttered practically nothing. But I did show you my entire eyeshadow palette collection. And I'm going to be working on the lighting and the sound. I know right now it's still a little echoey, and I know that I haven't gotten everything set up. You can see in the background behind me, there's still work to do. But I did want to go through the entire palette collection while I had them out, because I figured this was really the only opportunity I was ever going to do that, because once I put these things away and organize all of this, I really want to take them out again. So I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope it was different, a little bit interesting, and I hope to see you in another video really soon. Bye!